Hello, everyone. Today we will talk about designing outcome based and gender sensitive syllabi in the new normal. Now, let's have the course syllabus. But what is a course syllabus? It is a document that outlines the objectives, content, assignments, and requirements of a particular course. The author of a course syllabus is typically the instructor or professor responsible for teaching the course. They create the syllabus to provide students with an understanding of what will be covered throughout the course and what is expected for them. Alright, now let's go to the components of a course syllabus. This is according to Davis 2004. So we have the basic information, course description, learning outcomes or objectives, materials, course schedule, course resources, course evaluation, course policies, and instructors' contact information and office hours. First one, we have the basic information. Now, this section provides information about the course, such as the name of university, semester and year, course title, time and location, and it may also include the instructor's name and contact information. The second one is the course description. Now, this is a brief overview of the course objectives, topics, and themes. It describes the purpose and intended outcomes of the course. The learning outcomes. This section outlines the specific knowledge, skills, or competencies that students are expected to gain or achieve by the end of the course. Next one, we have the materials. Now, these include a list of textbooks, readings, or other materials that students are required to obtain for the course. Now, the course schedule. This is a week-by-week breakdown of topics or units covered in the course. It includes specific readings, assignments, or activities for each class session. Next one, we have the course resources. Information about additional resources such as online platforms, library resources, or additional readings that students can use to supplement their learning. Next, we have the course evaluation. The criteria and weightage of different assessments used to evaluate student performance. This may include exams, quizzes, papers, projects, participation, and attendance. It also typically includes the grading scale or rubrics used. Now we have the course policies. These are guidelines and rules that govern how the course will be conducted. This may include policies on attendance, late submissions, academic integrity, classroom behavior, or any specific policies relevant to the course. And last but not the least, we have the instructor's contact information and office hours. The instructor's contact information, including email and office location, along with designated office hours for students to ask questions or if when they seek assistance. It is important to note that the components of a course syllabus can vary depending on the institution, instructor, and the nature of the course. Allow me to share to you an example of a course syllabus. The syllabus serves as a foundational document in educational institutions, providing guidance, clarity, and structure for both educators and learners. It establishes clear expectations, promotes effective teaching and learning, and fosters a sense of accountability and engagement. This concludes my part. Thank you so much for spending your time. These are my references.
Learning objectives versus learning outcomes. Learning objectives is the intended results or effects of the training curricula, programs, and activities, and what the instructor will cover of the course. So, it is the statement of specifying what the student should be taught and explain to the students how to acquire new knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Learning outcomes. A detailed description of what the student should be able to do at the end of this course in order to fulfill the target knowledge, skills, and attitude toward change. So, outcome focuses on the application and integration of knowledge and skills acquired in a particular unit of instructions merged from a process of reflection on the essential contents of a course. The Bloom's taxonomy cognitive domain divided into two parts, the higher order thinking skills and the lower order thinking skills. In higher order thinking skills comprising the top levels such as create, evaluation, analysis, and application. Learning outcomes related to interpretation of information, decision-making, problem-solving, and planning. Create. Putting parts together to form new and integrated whole. Example, invent any recyclable making a new piece of art. Evaluate. Making judgment about merits of ideas, materials, and phenomena. Example, critique the story of Antony and Cleopatra tragedy by William Shakespeare. Analyze, breaking down a whole into component parts. Example, compare and contrast the difference between learning outcome and learning objectives. Application. Using abstract in concrete situation. For example, illustrate the function of the parts of the body. Lower order thinking skills. Learning outcomes related to the acquisition of knowledge and basic understanding. Understand. Explaining the meaning of information. Example, summarize the learning competencies being discussed. Remember. Remembering information. Example, define the meaning of learning outcomes.
Formative assessment versus summative assessment. Before we contrast the two different assessments, let's have a definition of each of them. First, formative assessment. It refers to the monitoring of teaching efficiency that provides an ongoing feedback, as well as the monitoring of students' learnings by providing activities right away. Additionally, it examines the strengths and weaknesses upon assessing their scores.
In this illustration, the example of formative assessment is personal map. It portrays the connection and relationship between the concept as long as the contexts are similar to the topic. It could be a Venn diagram, timelines, tables, and charts.
And summative assessment. It refers to the evaluation of the student's learning at the end of the unit or semester. And also, the instructor is able to measure their students' understandings. Perhaps it is to perceive the supposed gasp knowledge that the student needs to acquire.
In this illustration, the examples of summative assessment are midterm exam, final, and recital. This photo portrays examination that examines the student's knowledge or proficiency.
So now, let's have a comparison between the two assessments. As you can see on the illustration above, formative assessment, it is more likely on quizzes, group activities, concept mapping, and etc. Meanwhile, the summative assessment, it is more likely on final exams, end of the semester projects, recitals, and etc. Subsequently, the assessment are able to monitor and evaluate the learner's outcome in general terms.